Hello all. Please turn to page 85 where we were so rudely interrupted by the bell yesterday due to poor time management by your teacher. So, we finished up with number 1, triangle ABC, and we got to a point where we were discussing this problem here. When we did the sine, we got this to be 41 on our calculator, yes? Even though we were well aware that it could not be 41, could it? Because if I make B 41, that makes this, 180 minus 61, yes? Which would be 119, which would be impossible, wouldn't it? So, the reason I brought this up was because this applies back to what we would be, this calls back to what we had been studying before with the reference angles. 41 is right there, which has the sign of around 0.8, right? So, actually, no, it wouldn't be 0.8, sorry. Whatever that decimal is, I can't remember what it is right now. I think it is around 0.8, actually. 0.72? 0.65? Great. So this is 0.65. But of course, because you have already studied the 360 degrees around here, and you know CAST, you of course know that 0.65 is another sine value over here, which is 139, which would make that 139, which would make this 139 and 20 is 159, 21. And that does make sense because the biggest side is across from the biggest angle. So you have to be aware of what you are actually doing, not just hammering on your calculator like a trained monkey. Do you all understand? It is the same problem you all have when you do a bunch of trig and tell me the hypotenuse is shorter than one of the legs. It's because you are believing your calculator without thinking about what is actually going on. Is everybody good? All right, that was where the bell rang yesterday. Now, if you turn the page over, you see we have a new trig problem here. What makes it more difficult? I am using the letters P, Q, R as opposed to A, B, C. Does it matter? Of course not. In triangle PQR, so again, I'm just going to draw a triangle. It does not matter what it looks like because I, as you, know what you are doing. And I can label it in any such way. RP is 7, RQ is 8, and PQ is 10. Now you know what angle has to be the biggest. R. No matter how we draw it, R has to be the biggest, yes? And Q has to be what? The smallest. Now, since I have all three sides and no angles, can I do the sine law? No, of course not. I must do the cosine law. But since I need an angle, I can't even do the cosine law the way it's written, can I? I have to rearrange it. Now the cosine law, I will remind you, is c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. You will never have to memorize that. You will always be given it. But I do not have a, b, and c on here, do I? What do I have? QPR. But I am an intelligent old man, just like you are intelligent young people. I know how to manipulate this equation to get cos C isolated, do I not? Excellent. And if I isolated cos C, that would allow me to find angle C, wouldn't it? Everyone agree? But I do not want angle C. What angle do I want? Angle Q. So if I go ahead and say this is angle C, then this becomes easy, doesn't it? If this is C, can this be A? Sure. Can this be B? Sure. Which would make this what? Lil A, which would make this what? Lil B. And now I can do the cosine law with any letters I want because I am in charge of this. Okay? This triangle does not come into my room at night and turn out my light and tell me to go to sleep because it is not in charge of me. That is my wife's job. Okay? Everybody understand? So now we can go ahead and work this out. First thing, I got to remember how to do this. I have to manipulate that equation. You have it manipulated on the page right before, but you should try to manipulate it right now on your own. So, of course, we're going to move everything. So everybody should have been able to do that. Possibly not that fast, but that's okay. Problem now, can I use those letters? No, of course not. What will the letters that I actually use be? C will now be what? Little q. A will now be what? Little p. And B will now be what? Little r. Over negative 2 PR will get me cos Q. Now, if you're good, this is doable in one step because, of course, we do not want the cosine of Q. What do we want? Q. So really, this has to be shift cos at the end, doesn't it? It is possible to do in one step. If you wish to attempt it, please do so. Need you attempt it? No, of course not. You could work this out, hit equals, and then you have an answer on your calculator, yes? Which, if you have done it correctly, will be a decimal that is positive, right? Because cosine can never be more than 1, and cosine cannot be negative, right? So if you've done this right, you will end up with a decimal that is positive. Then you would go shift, cos, answer. Or you can do it all in one go. Everybody go ahead and try it out. See if you can get the correct answer. I, of course, would write out the work here. And who has a number for me? Najim. You have 44 point. Okay. Anybody else? Suani. Okay, that's the cosine. Who else? Anybody else? Or is Najim correct. He said, I think 44 degrees. Did he not? Everybody concurs? I haven't actually done it yet. I've been doing this, getting me to here, which was 0.669, which is what Suhani said, 0.7. Everyone agrees with 44? Well, let's check. Second cos. I get 48. So, I have a number wrong where? $49 minus, of course, that's 64. 49 minus 64 minus 100. Yes, it's negative 115. So 44 is correct. Now, excellent. What did I do? Working in my head. I wrote 56 there instead of 64. Why did I write 56? I did 7 times 8 because I saw a 7 and 8. Everybody understand? Now, again, the usual situation. 1 second, Brendan. What if you do that? Did you do the cosine law right? Is that a computational error or a conceptual error? Computational. Is 44 very darn close to 48? Yeah. Would I be happy with you? I can see where you went wrong. You used the cosine law right. You manipulated it right. You got an answer that made sense. Yeah? Okay. Brendan.
How come we put q squared minus p squared minus r squared in that order?
Oh, just because I brought the A and the B over. It doesn't matter, right? If I have 10 minus 5 minus 2, it's 3. If I have 10 minus 2 minus 5, it's still 3. The only thing that matters is the first one has to be the right number. Everybody good? All right. Let's do another real life question. This is one of my favorite questions ever because I used to give this on a test and I had to move it away from a test because you're not going to believe this. Your previous peers, kids in Honors 10, thought that was a number. That the plane was 34,450 kilometers east of the tower. So the plane was in space. Because to be 34,000 kilometers away from the tower, you would have to be in space.
Well, it's east, right?
No, I know. East would be right off the planet. And, of course, we don't write numbers 3, 4, 4, then a space. It is, of course, flight number 344. That is 50 kilometers east. Apparently, I needed one. Apparently, the best and brightest of the students in the school before you people did not know that flights had numbers. Apparently. But to be fair, Thomas, do I really need that? Because is 34450 any number ever in our number system? No, it is not. No, the number would be 34, then a space, and 450. I know it's true. So, of course, in real life, when you actually do stuff with trig and you work out things like why planes crashed into each other, the planes are not called ABC, PQR. They are called the flight that they were. So, Ganika, you had your hand up. About what?
I was just saying that I feel like the reason kids think it's a number is because there should be an S in between.
I disagree. An air traffic control tower, there shouldn't be an S there, finds WestJet flight 344 50 kilometers east of the tower. You look up and find Mr. Myers to be sitting in his chair. You found me there. It's linguistically sound, except for the plural. Let's just fix that right now. There we go. All right. So, let's do math. We talked about that. Yes. Unfortunately, many times, Natasha, I will write that, and not a word of a lie, why are you hashtagging 344? Not a word of a lie. That should be the name of my Twitter account where I make fun of teenagers in math. Should be hashtag 344. Actually, if I were to ever have a Twitter feed, it would of course be hashtag. No, it would be hashtag. Or, okay, let's do math. Okay, so what do I know? What have I got here? Read the question, tell me what I got. What's shared between the two planes? Tower. Great. So I got a tower. Yeah? I look out the tower and what do I see? I see two planes. One plane is where? 344.50 kilometers. No. 50 kilometers east. How do we show east on a drawing? Straight to the right. So out here I've got flight W. How far away is it? 50. What else do I know? There's flight J, which is where? Somewhere away from flight W, yes? Could I draw it up there with a 20 degrees? And this would be 25, correct? Could I draw it? What color is that? Oh, barf. Back in the day, when I was younger than you people, that color in Crayola crayons was flesh. No, it's not. It hasn't been flesh in years. Because as you are well aware, when you look at your flesh, it is not that color. The vast majority of the world, as a matter of fact, is not that color. Which is why they have changed it. I think it's peach now. Sounds like a Google question for later. Could I draw this with 25? Does it matter which one I draw? Of course not. I'm going to use the blue one because I like having space down here. And I need this distance, yes? Sine or cosine law? And don't say cosine law because we're practicing that right now. Why is it cosine law? Because I don't have the opposite angle, yes? Is it regular cosine law or yucky cosine law? Regular, why? Because we're looking for a side. Regular cosine law is c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. Okay, you're right. They should have been. Do I have ABC here? No, what do I have? Lil t. I want lil t, yes? Which means what does this become? Lil t. This becomes lil j. This becomes lil w. Minus 2jw cos big T. Now, can we fill it in? Of course we can. Let's use dead flesh color, gray. Because everybody's the same color then. Now, what could I do right now if I was really good with my calculator? I could square root that whole thing and just have t by itself, couldn't I? Which is 50 squared plus 25 squared. Does that order matter? No. Of course not, because 2,500 plus 6,000 or 625 is the same as 625 plus 2,500, right? Right. Minus 2 times 50 times 25 times cos what? 20. Now, if I wanted to put this in my calculator all at once, I would need some brackets, wouldn't I? Yes. Where? There. And if you have a forward calculator, you will need to close that 20 and put the last bracket. If you don't care about trying to get it all in one shot, don't. Okay? But if you do care, it's a skill you feel you would like for later purposes in math classes, now is the time to practice it, yeah? Go. Oops, I've gone green. Everybody do the work, see what you get. Let's hear some answers. I got 27 point something. What else? I got 27.8. Which is it? Oh, once again, apparently the best and brightest need a lesson in grade 3 rounding. It's 0.9, okay. What else? Preston, do what you need to do. That's trig ratios. Do I have any other answers other than that? Okay. Anything else? 27.9 has been corroborated by a bunch of people. That is what I too have. Does it make sense? Makes pretty good sense to me, yeah? Everybody Gouda? Excellent. Now, turn the page over, and I want to see how much you've been paying attention. You try 4. Everybody's triangle should look something like mine, yes? If you did that, you're in good shape. Now, which angle am I trying to find? On my triangle, it's H, right? Okay. So am I going to use regular cos law or yucky cos law? Yucky. Is everybody happy with my work? What is the last thing you must do? What do you do with the decimal at the end? You don't round it at all. You're looking for an angle. You shift cosine. What's wrong with that? It's higher than 1. Have I done all my math correctly? Have I drawn the triangle correctly? When I do this on my calculator, what does my calculator say? It gives you an error. How many of you will accept that error? And how many of you will try to force an answer out of this question? All of you will force the answer out of this question. Why? Because my calculator can't possibly be wrong. This is an impossible triangle. I have done it on purpose. I used to let kids sit and struggle with this for like an hour. And they would all come to me with an answer. They would come to me with an answer. Like, this is what it is, Mr. Myers. They would not even begin to entertain the idea that I would mess with their heads. They could not even begin to entertain the idea that they could do the math because the calculator said no. Now, the point of this question is, now that you have done that, which of these numbers is the lie? Talk to your neighbor. Talk to your neighbor. Do not yell it out. One of those numbers is a lie. Which one? Which of those numbers cannot possibly be true? On the triangle. Yep. Anita. Oh, is your hand up or did you bring it down? Anita. I'm sorry? Yes. 10 cannot possibly be true. They must be further apart than 10, mustn't they? Does everybody understand why? This was a straight line. This was a straight line. There's no lie there. But this has to, now next question, greater or less than 10? Ho, ho, ho. Stupid honors kids.
You said it has to be more than 10.
When?
You said you like it mustn't be less than 10.
Are you okay? Yeah.
Who asked you? You did. Okay. And now, my favorite question because it's Halloweeny and it's a spooky tower. And wait. Oh, wait. It's not just any car. I actually can't remember how much green is on the mystery machine. It's all green and blue, but I can't remember where the green and the blue is. You guys work on this question while I work on my mystery machine drawing. Everybody cool with how I found 149? So now I am dealing with this triangle. 149, 18, 20. And is everybody cool with how I found that? How many degrees are in a triangle? Well, there's 149 of them and 18 more. So how many degrees are up there?
51 degrees.
I did. Selena told me 31, and I assumed she subtracted. No, of course not. It's 13.
Yes. It's not 31. It's 13.
Okay, everyone, stop. We're all giving Selena a hard time, but there is no need to because all of you sat there and tried to work with 31. So you are all equally blameful here, me included. I did not check her math. So everybody drop it and carry on with the right answer. Okay? Because if I start making fun of you guys for giving me answers that are wrong and don't make sense, I won't do a lot of teaching, will I? Do the work. Fix it up. Yeah.
Is the angle on the right side of the second triangle, but by towers, is it a right angle?
Of course it is. From the ground straight up to the top of something?
You said not to always use this one. Sorry. You said you should never assume something's above.
But that's not an assumption, Ashni. How do you measure your height? From the ground straight up. By definition, what is that angle? X is right here, yes? Yes? X is right here, correct? And H is going to equal X times sine 31, isn't it? There's X right there, yes? So couldn't I just do that times sine 31? Yes? Now, sine 31 is technically over 1, isn't it? So isn't that really just 20 sine 18 sine 31 all divided by sine 13? And what's your answer? 14.4. Well, 14.2 actually. Is everybody good? Yeah? What, ladies and gentlemen, was the point? You have the tools to solve these questions, but you have to apply them. That is what separates being able to do math and doing math. Does everybody understand the difference? This is doing math. Because all that is punching 7 to your calculator. Even if you don't have a calculator, you could almost do this in your head if you practice enough. right? We all know that sine has to be between 0 and 1, right? So we could figure this out approximately without a calculator. But to get to here, this is the skill. Does everybody pick up what I am putting down? All right. Your job today and tonight is page 87. Just 87. Go diddly-o. And hint, hint, page 87, if I'm not mistaken, is all cosine law. No messing with you, I think. I can't remember. It's been a year since I've done page 87. Maybe there's some sine law on there. Maybe there isn't. Okay? Now, if you are a keener, as some of you in here are wont to be, tomorrow in class, your assignment will be page 88 to 90. Tomorrow's assignment will be done in class, marked in class. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is a short day. X block. If you feel that you will need more than 60 minutes to do 88, 89, and 90, you may want to get a head start on it tonight. Okay? Of course you can. Board is there for X block signatories. Aight? Go.